Hello, welcome back. We have talked about how to define a function and return its result in last two videos. We will talk about some basic ways to pass parameters or arguments to the functions. First, the name of parameters and the name of variables you want to pass to the function are not have to be same name. Let me show you how can we pass variables to function as parameters. First, let me open my notebook again. And here I'm going to create another notebook. 11 parameters. Now, let's reuse the power function again. First, we're going to define over here an x and y. Return the result x2 to y. Maybe we can create a markdown cell over here so that we can split the content. I'm going to say in this situation I'm going to select markdown, and I'm going to say this is a basic parameters. We will introduce you how to write markdown file in the future videos. Currently, all you need to know is that we can type text over here, and it's more like comments. Let me run it. Now we can define two variables, and the name of the variable can be different from the name of parents as I mentioned earlier. Let's say a and b. A equals 2 and b equals 3. Let's run it. Now we can call the power function with pass a and b to the function. Sorry, I haven't run the function cell yet, so which means the function haven't defined yet. So I'm going to run it. Oh, I missed the colon over here. So let me add it and rerun the cell. Now we have the function, and now we can call it now. See, we got the result. And a and b can pass to x and y, even though the name is different. Of course, we can call the function just pass the value directly. And then we can say 2 and 3. In this case, we just pass the value directly, and the result is going to same. Another important way to pass value to function is use default value. Actually, the most useful form is to specify a default value for one or more arguments. This creates a function that can be called with few arguments that it is defined to allow. Now, let me show you how can we define function with a default value. I'm going to change this as a markdown again, and in this cell let me call it 2 and say default value. Parameters. Let me run it. Now we can rewrite the function with a default value. Okay, maybe I just say 2, and let's run this cell. Now in this function we have y with a default value which is 2. So if we just pass a value of x and call the function is correct. Let me show you how it works. Let's see power, and 2 is okay. Now because 2y is equals 2, if the function without default value, we cannot call the function in this way. Let me show you what happens if we call the function without default value, just pass a parameter rather than 2. See, as you can see, we have error messages over here because we just pass one parameters to the function, and y have no default value. Okay, now let's change it back to. Now it's correct. Now, of course, we can pass two variables to the functions as we use the previous function. Now let me show you. Okay, and we can say in this case it's 3, or even we can change it to 4 or any values you want. The default value of parameters are not have to be numbers. It can be strings. Let me show you how can we do that. Now let me copy this function and rewrite. In this case, we will add another parameters. Let's call it z and equals to the result is and a colon. Let's concatenate the string z and the result of the calculation z plus, and in this situation we have to convert the result to a string, so we can do it this way. Okay, now let's run this cell. Let's call it just simply call it this way. As you can see, we have got the result. We do not have to pass z values because we have default values. Even we do not have to pass the y because it's also got a default value. Oh, let me show you how. But it's going to be a square of 2 because the default value is 2. As you can see, the result is correct. Okay, that's all for basic ways to pass parameters to functions, and we will talk more about parameters in next video. See you next video. Bye bye.